I'll combine workplace, marketplace, and life scenarios to interpret different negotiation techniques. First, let's see how to apply negotiation techniques in the workplace to win more for yourself. And in the workplace, this often happens. Some people work hard to get into a big company, but after joining, they find they don't like their job. They want to transfer positions, but fear upsetting their boss. What should they do? This is where you can use the step-by-step negotiation technique. For example, Camilla interned at Warner Brothers for a summer, luckily stood out and got a full-time job. However, she wasn't very satisfied with her administrative assistant role and wanted to work in strategic positions in Warner's media department to enhance the value of her job. Camilla really wanted to transfer, but she knew it was unwise to ask so soon after starting, and she might even lose her current job. So she asked her supervisor if she could take on a bit of media department work while fulfilling her main duties, planning for her long-term interests. The supervisor didn't object to her request and thought it beneficial for employees to learn more skills in key areas, which is good for the company too. Finally, after 2 years, Camilla successfully transferred to the media department and, through relentless effort, became the vice president of an electronic news media company. The technique Camilla used is step-by-step progression, which Diamond considers the most important skill. Step-by-step means not making all demands at once. The more complex the situation, the more steps you should break it into to achieve them one by one. Each time, focus on achieving one step, then build on that in the next step. This benefits both sides in the negotiation. Regarding step-by-step, Diamond has a famous saying, "Every ceiling is a new floor." This technique can be applied to almost all negotiations. In business, negotiations between companies can utilize this. Let's look at an example. A telecommunications company wants to collaborate with a bidding company to handle internal bidding work. The telecom company proposed a 40% discount on service prices, but the bidding company said they offer a 25% discount to other companies. The telecom negotiator mentioned that the bidding company has many projects. According to regulations, we have to follow the formal bidding process, unlike small companies that don't have many bidding projects in a year. More importantly, most project contracts are only signed for 1 year, and we have to go through the bidding process again every year. Even if the bidding company offers a low discount, the profits can still be substantial. Moreover, the year end is approaching, and we need to kick off the bidding work for the coming year. Signing contracts before the peak bidding season helps the bidding company meet its sales targets. However, the bidding company still thinks a 40% discount is too low. The telecom company proposed signing a 3-month short-term contract at a 40% discount and then evaluating the business situation after 3 months. 3 months later, the bidding company's operations were very standardized, and they discovered that the telecom company's bidding projects were indeed large-scale and stable. Both parties agreed to continue signing a long-term contract at a 40% discount. In this case, the telecom company wanted to collaborate at a low price, but the bidding company was worried that the price was too low and their profits wouldn't be guaranteed. So the telecom company proposed signing a 3-month contract first to let the bidding company see the benefits and alleviate their concerns, then proceed to sign a long-term contract. The telecom company used the step-by-step technique to let the bidding company control the pace of progress, see clear milestones, allowing them to adapt gradually. More importantly, the bidding company could see that uncontrollable risks were gradually decreasing and disappearing as things progressed step by step. In business negotiations, because both parties have different goals and needs, their focus in negotiations also differs. This is a perfect time to use another negotiation technique: unequal value exchange. Unequal value exchange means trading something that has low value to one party but high value to the other party. The subject of unequal value exchange is usually intangible, meaning things beyond money. Used cleverly, unequal value exchange allows you to gain significant benefits at a relatively low cost to yourself. How does unequal value exchange work in practice? Let's look at an example. A well-known American company manages a US-Japan joint venture, and both the American and Japanese sides want to hold a 51% stake to have absolute control. Both sides were deadlocked with multiple negotiations. After negotiations, the Japanese company agreed to um, concede, letting the American side hold 51% and the Japanese side hold 49%, on the condition that the American side agrees to retain all Japanese employees after gaining absolute control. In this case, retaining Japanese employees is an unequal value exchange. This subject is very important to the Japanese side as it relates to their domestic employees' employment, but it's not as crucial for the American side. So, American companies always need to hire people to maintain normal operations. Having skilled Japanese employees is certainly better, and ultimately, both sides reached an agreement. The American side took on all Japanese employees, and the Japanese side conceded on the shareholding ratio. To benefit from unequal value exchange, the key is to find the lever that moves the earth, identifying the other party's needs. In life, we can often achieve negotiations through unequal value exchange, like identifying the other's needs and helping with our resources, moving beyond a money-first mindset to reach goals. Let's look at an example. A man named Desai wanted a live-in nanny for his family, but good ones are hard to find. Already, a single father was offering twice Desai's pay to compete. Desai didn't want a price war, so he talked with the nanny and learned her son had a serious illness. He just recovered and was seeking medical care. Desai then told her his wife is a physician who could help. He also emphasized his family's lifestyle is very relaxed and free. The implication is that compared to double pay but caring for a single parent child, working at his home would give the nanny ample rest time to visit her son. Meanwhile, Desai noted his pay, though half the father's, was above industry standards. Finally, the nanny was moved by Desai's wife being a physician and scheduled time off, so she chose his offer over double pay. In life, what should you do if you face a tough negotiation opponent? Diamond suggests using a technique called leveraging the other party's criteria in such cases. In Chinese terms, it's using your spear against you. This criterion involves public rules everyone follows, like company policies or sales promotions. On one hand, people see following criteria as right. On the other, not complying risks punishment if superiors find out. There's a deeper psychological reason. People dislike self-contradiction. Most people honor their commitments and stay consistent with their principles. The author once stayed at a hotel where he used the phone. They charged him 150 yuan at checkout based on 1 yuan per minute. He was about to pay, but recalled the hotel never indicated phone fees were extra, nor did reception mention it at check-in. So he called the hotel manager to negotiate. He asked the manager, "Is charging guests undisclosed service fees hotel policy?" The manager replied, "Of course not." The author said, "There's also no notice about phone charges in the room, right?" The manager admitted no notice existed and proposed a compromise: pay 75 yuan. The author rejected this, insisting undisclosed charges shouldn't apply. If this rule holds, he shouldn't pay. If not, if the hotel believes it can charge arbitrarily without notice, he'd pay fully, rejecting compromise. Finally, The phone charge was removed from his bill. This case shows leveraging criteria requires mastering key points. First, accurately describe the other party's criteria. Here, the author stated a universal principle: no undisclosed service fees, laying groundwork for compliance. Second, give the choice to them. By asking if they'd honor this, he let them choose: comply or violate principles for short-term gain. This approach works because their choice isn't coerced, but actively made after consideration. Third, directly point out their error. The author highlighted the hotel's mistake in pushing compromise, ultimately getting the charge removed. In negotiations, catching the other party's mistake is like gaining leverage to demand compensation. But there's a crucial point when pointing out mistakes. Never make yourself the focus. What does that mean? That means when pointing out errors, avoid aggressive or abusive attitudes. Such an attitude shifts focus from the issue to the person, like news stories of passengers hitting flight attendants over delays. Classic cases of becoming the problem while addressing misconduct. You go from being right to wrong. Life often involves facing unreasonable demands or frustrating behaviors. What to do then? Diamond suggests emotional compensation as a technique. Proper emotional compensation, comforting gestures, diffuses unreasonable demands. For it to work, identify what the other values as compensation. Some need an apology, some need sympathy, others need honor. Saving face is emotional compensation. Take Mark and his wife driving to a mall with terrible parking. As they backed into a spot, another car zipped in and stole it. Mark negotiated calmly. "We waited ages for this spot. Could you let us have it?" "I don't want to look incompetent before my wife." Hearing this, the driver moved their car. Mark offered emotional compensation by sharing his embarrassment, evoking empathy. Perhaps recalling spousal criticism themselves, they felt honored, helping Mark, giving up the spot without losing face. All right, that concludes part 2. This section covered applying negotiation techniques in workplace, business, and life scenarios. At work, identify needs and use step-by-step approaches to build skills. In business, gradual progression remains effective. Also, you can use unequal value exchange to find each party's different priorities. In life, when facing communication challenges, techniques like unequal value exchange, leveraging the other party's criteria, and emotional compensation are all effective. We've covered the key negotiation points and how to apply skills in context. To become a true negotiation expert, the most important thing is real-world practice, as Diamond suggests. Internalize these strategies into your character to benefit in every negotiation. All right, that concludes our interpretation of the most popular negotiation course at Wharton. You can find the notes below the audio. See you tomorrow.